Has any leader around the world made the coup attempted fail? Only a few leaders around the world who managed to defend themselves against the military coup in their country. And it's very hard to find the population of their country to rally behind such a leader. Why that is not the case with Burkina Faso?
In Burkina Faso, thousands of protesters gathered on Saturday in several large cities to support Captain Ibrahim Traore and denounce destabilization desires of the country. Thursday, during a televised interview, Captain Traore denounced the actions of a coalition against Burkina Faso, claiming to have turned to strategic allies such as Russia and Turkey. The country has seen 2 military coups and has been plagued by jihadist violence that has claimed more than 10,000 lives.
However, we're experiencing this for the first time in the history, how people of Burkina Faso, they are coming in their number to show their support and love to their leader, Ibrahim Traore. All the attempted military coup against him, it has failed. All the assassinations attempted against him, it also failed. Instead of them succeeding, they keep on failing because Ibrahim Traore have the support of his people. Many people, they are speculating, saying that there must be a massive support behind all this survival of Ibrahim Traore. So, according to you, who do you think this person could be? Who do you think could be supporting or covering Ibrahim Traore to survive against all this military coup and all the assassination attempt against him? Let us find out. In West Africa, Burkina Faso is one of the African countries which has been going through a lot under the dictatorship of the former colonial who've been exploiting the Burkinabe minings and mineral resources and looting everything from Burkina Faso and leaving people of Burkina Faso without nothing. Oh yes, they've been doing this for centuries without having pity for people of Burkina Faso until Ibrahim Traore came to power in September 2022 when everything took another direction. We all know that Ibrahim Traore came in power through a military coup. The military coup in Burkina Faso, it was something which people of Burkina Faso, they have get to used to. Since the time or since the colonial, they have left that country physically and they decided not to leave Burkina Faso economically. They did not let Burkina Faso have that freedom with their own mineral resource. That is when they get to impose their puppet president to stay in power and be dictators to this part of Africa soil, so that them will be able to have this easy access to Burkinabe mineral resource, where they will come and take it as much they want without no one asking them what they have to do in exchange for people of Burkina Faso to benefit from their mineral resource which belongs to them after all these years. So politicians in Burkina Faso, they were all captured on the hands of the Western. They were all controlled by France, British and the US, who came to tell them what to do in that part of country. And since they could not be able to sit one place as Africans and have one better understanding that can benefit their people, well, they will always get to betray each other. They will always have to be betraying each other in the form of, today it is you in power, tomorrow it has to be someone else, just because this person have to go to the one of the Western country and have a better deal with them that will benefit the Western, and the Western, they have to come and betray you by organizing a military coup which will have to take place in this country so that they will impose their own puppet president. And that is how it was well known. But guys, how this is not the case with Ibrahim Traore? Why is it that since Ibrahim Traore came in power through a military coup, things have changed around in a different ways, that even this same Western, they have tried to remove him in power through military coup, yet they are not succeeding? Well, in order for us to understand all this very well, we need first to drive you through what Ibrahim Traore have managed to do so far since he arrived in power in that particular part of Africa continent. So before we get to do that, please, this is just a reminder for you to click your likes, give us your thumbs up, like this video in your numbers. We really do appreciate that. If you have not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button right now so that you don't miss. Thanks for doing so. Alright, now let us find out why this military coup was not successful and who's the mastermind behind it.
The spokesperson for the government of Burkina Faso denounced Thursday what he called an umpteenth attempt at destabilizing the Sahelian nation. He said a coup attempt had been foiled. Citing findings of preliminary investigations, Rimtalba Jean-Emmanuel Ouedraogo said the coup was scheduled to take place on January 14th. He added that a network of military officers, some retired, some are active, as well as civilians and activists, conspired to destabilize the institutions of Burkina Faso. The network allegedly sought to target citizens' watch bodies to sway the people's support for the ruling patriotic movement for the safeguard and restoration.
The answer is, it is not because of his popularity or because of 1, 2, 3 things that he have done to people of Burkina Faso so far, but because of his political strategy and his foreign policies that he's trying to implement on place. That is what made him survive all this coup attempted against his government. The mastermind behind all this coup attempt against Ibrahim Traore, it is not only the militaries which are found inside this government that are working with certain people from the outside, or some individuals who are supposed to be in the civilians as such as the politicians, but the true mastermind behind all this military coup attempt against Ibrahim Traore, it is the Western themselves. And here we are talking about France, we are talking about US, we are talking about British, Germany, all these countries combined together who have something very important that they have to lost in this part of Africa continent. They are the one who are fighting by all means in order for them to remove or eliminate physically Ibrahim Traore, so that they will come and impose their puppet government which has been at their service for all these years. Now, seeing someone such as Ibrahim Traore standing on that position without giving up to them what they are expecting him to give, or without bowing to their terms and conditions, while that is what's driving them insane. And these Westerns, with their medias, with everything in their possessions, they're using their power to destroy the government of Ibrahim Traore. Traore's journey in power, it was not an easy one, guys. Keep that in mind. Traore, his journey to be the president of Burkina Faso, it is something that took some time, because he was within the armies, but yet he was observing and he was full of pain to see on how people of Burkina Faso, they've been suffering, and seeing on how leaders of Burkina Faso, they managed to sell their soul to the devil. I'm referring them being at the service of the Western instead of them being at the service of people of Burkina Faso. So all these things were things that which Traore have to consume in order for him to have that eager or that anger, in order for him to come and take over. And what happened now since Traore decided to come in power? Well, he came and started correcting the mistake of his predecessors. I'm referring whether it is in the army or whether it is within the politicians who were in the government as ministers or president. He first started making sure that all the ties that linked Burkina Faso with these Western countries, he should start stopping it one by one. Ibrahim Traore, he kicked out all the Western country in his country. Remember, he's one of the first African leaders so far who decided to cut all the ties with the Western. Guys, we all know how this Western, especially the US, how they managed to blackmail African countries, how they managed to control African countries even from far. They pretend to leave Africa. They pretend to give African freedom. But yet when they are seated far from their countries, they are the one who are monitoring each and every situation that is happening in Africa continent. That is why you see them whenever you're organizing an election in your country, they're the first one to jump on the front line and tell you on how you guys should respect democracy. Democracy that they're imposing on Africans. They have to tell you how things have to be done. But if you have to look back in their countries, they don't apply none of these things. The democracy or human rights they are preaching around the world, these are the things that these people, they don't apply at all. We have seen it and we are seeing it right now around the world. We can see what these people have been doing. So these people, they managed to control Africans from far with all these things because they were having a last word to say in African politics. So Ibrahim Traore have understood that, and he have to come and look on these all countries and say that, okay, what kind of country do we need to have a relationship with? What country do we can we be friends with? If we don't have that mutual respect, are we going to continue to be at the service of these oppressors? Or should we move forward and try to do something better for the Africa continent? When Ibrahim Traore, he have sit and realize again that the Africans leaders with African Union in Addis Ababa, these people, they are not doing exactly what people of or of Africa continent are expecting from them. Instead of them being at the service of African people, they kind of like doing everything which have to comply only with what the Western have to come and say in Africa politics. So he understood that in order for us to do something more different to what all our leaders have been doing before, we need first to start cutting all the ties with all the Western countries who are having influence on our country. We are going to set this as a fine example. We are going even in Africa continent and look around in a big organization such as the AU and see if it does benefit people of Burkina Faso and people of Africa or not. If it does not do so, then we will have to isolate ourselves from all these activities. That's what the men managed to do so far. He chased France out of his country. He cut all the deal which his predecessors they had against France when it comes to on how they have to exploit the gold of Burkina Faso in different minings. He stopped all these things and said that no, from now on, you guys sit there and relax. We'll let you know if we need your help. Otherwise, we are good so far. He went on and chased the US military base in his country. He removed them, all of them there. He even influenced his neighboring countries such as Niger, who had also to do the same thing. He stopped all these Western countries from his country so that they should not come and tell him what to do in his land. He did not only stop there. He went against the African Union by condemning them on how hypocrite they've been. Each and everything which the Western have to condemn, them they have to support it. Why the West or America or France, they can't support the African Union on what they are bringing on the agenda? Why is it? It has to be only the Western who have to come and say something about Africa, and the African leaders they have just to say yes, we accept. They have just always bow to the Western point of view that they have to raise up. So these are the kind of the things that he had to stand against the African Union and calling all the leaders who were seated in that chamber saying that they are all puppets because they are not for Africans but they are there for their own families and they are there for the Western because they are protecting their Western so that them will live a better life. He even give examples saying that these people are the one who goes and invest a lot of money in these foreigner countries. Yet they don't invest in their countries because they know that what they're doing is wrong. And that's the reason why these African leaders, whenever they get sick, they don't get healed or being treated in Africa continent hospitals. They will rather prefer to go to foreigner countries such as in Europe countries or America countries and go there and get their better treatment. These are the sign of showing that these people, they don't want to invest in their countries. They're investing overseas because they know very well that whatsoever they are doing, it is something wrong. And one day, once the African youth, they stand up, they'll get to lose everything and they'll be left empty-handed. We'll confiscate everything from them. That's even the reason that keep motivating them to trust the Western even more. Forgetting that this Western, once they're done with you, they'll make sure that they kick you out. They can even throw you in jail. Go and look at the International Criminal Court, who are full there. We never see them arresting any member of NATO countries for all the crime that they've been committing around the world. We have true criminals who are well known. People such as George Bush for committing serious massacre in Iraq. We have people who did serious, the worst part of things in Pakistan. All these countries, in Libya, these people, they are free out there. Tony Leblanc is also there doing what's living his life like he never commit any crime before. Yet these people, they are living their life peacefully, and these people, no one ever called them to the ICC in order for them to be judged over there and be found guilty according to the law. These people, they're untouchable. But go and see that jail, how it's full of African leaders and politicians. African politicians that are full of them over there. It's just something small. Maybe that's because the Western, they don't want to work with you anymore. Or maybe that's because the Western, they are tired of you and they want to replace with someone else. They'll use that ICC things to incriminate you and raise up some files against you so that they'll manage to send you in jail and replace with someone else. These are the things that these people have been doing. And Ibrahim Traore, he have come to understand that he don't need this kind of people by his side. It is this kind of people who've been bringing a lot of instability, not only in Burkina Faso, but in the entire Africa continent, because they know that once they bring instability in this Africa continent, Africa won't be able to develop. Africa wants to be able to invade or fabricate anything that the world can also celebrate out there, and they'll get a chance to come in. Of course, as they always pretend to come in and preach the gospel of peace, saying that no, we are here to help you develop your country. We are here to bring peace in this part of your country. We are here to fight the terrorists around your country. Through that same excuses that they've been giving all this time, it is how they manage to continue looting Africa, because we used to have the kind of leaders who just accept to welcome these people in their country and they are not doing nothing. So Ibrahim Traore, you've been observing all this for so long, and you could tell that these are not people who can come and help us anymore, because they've been here saying that, for example, we are here to fight terrorists. How many terrorists have them even managed to arrest? How many peace or part of the country that they've managed to establish peace, if it is not instability that keep on reigning in all over the Africa continent? So he understood all these things, and that's how he cut tight from all these people. But what else did Ibrahim Traore did in order for these people to be so desperate for them to take him down? Well, it not only stopped there. The men even went far by starting
like
influencing
Russia, China,
African
and
countries.
Turkey. Traore hoped to create a more balanced and resilient economy.
That these people need.
This shift in foreign policy was not just about economic interests. It was also a political statement, signaling Burkina Faso's desire to chart its course in the world.
Our leaders as their puppets or as their underways, it is all because they are not having a common understanding among themselves. So today it is France who will come and impose their own leader. Tomorrow it is maybe British or America, so on and so on. So we can't continue to live this kind of life when we can be our own leaders, when we can do these things on our own. We don't need their help. So Ibrahim Traore, he went on and started influencing all these other countries such as Niger, Mali, and in telling them that no, we've been through a lot. And now that we are having this military government in place, we should not trust politicians, because civil politicians, they are there to seek for their to work for their own benefit, to work for the interest of their own families. They want to live a better life, and they're forgetting the life of our people. They will end up selling us again. So therefore, we rather keep the power and make an order, put everything in order, whereby our people are more happy, and then we'll see how we can start now organizing elections. So these other two countries, they had welcomed his ideas of coming together and work as Africans, so that they'll set this fine example for all the African countries who are still pending in this kind of misery from the Western. So this is not something that sit okay with the Western. They went crazy. Yes, you guys, you saw them seated inside their Senate cabinet talking about it on how Burkina Faso, Mali, Mozambique, these different countries, as they mention it, saying that these countries, they are all running away from us. They are now finding another alternative countries that they would love to work with, such as Russia or China.
We feel like a family in the sense that Russia is also a family for Africa. We are a family because we have the same story. Russia made enormous sacrifices to liberate the world from Nazism during World War II. The African peoples, our grandfathers, were also forcibly deported to help Europe get rid of Nazism. We share the same story in the sense that we are the forgotten peoples of the world. Whether in history books, in documentaries or films, we tend to brush aside the preponderant role played by Russia and Africa in this fight against Nazism.
So these are things that are pissing these people off. Was that all? No. Still again, the same Ibrahim Traore. He went on and tried to squeeze all the places where Burkinabe politicians used to steal the money from the government. He made sure that these people, they don't get a chance to steal anymore. When it is through the justice system, he had to threaten all the judges by telling them that if you don't do your job properly, if you have to be having two types of judgment, the one that you reserve for people who have money and people who are like such as politicians, and the one that you keep for people, poor people, you must know that your outcome will be very bad, because I will deal with you as a militarist and not as your leader. And this was something that they were not expecting him to say, because remember, a corrupt justice system, it is something that the oppressors, they usually use in order for them to get away with all the crime that they are doing in Africa continent. We all know that. So wherever there is a failed justice, it is an easy way for the former colonials who are still stealing from Africans to continue looting these countries in Africa. So Ibrahim Traore, he have understood all these things, and then he had to threaten first all the people who are supposed to be in charge, sitting behind the court, and he told them that if you're not doing your job properly, then it will be a serious problem for you. And then this is the same man who went through his cabinet and tell all the ministers that your salary are going to be cut. So he dropped the salary of his ministers. Why? Not because he wants to collect this money so that he can go and spend on himself with his family. No, but he cut their salary so that he will put it to the budget of the country, so that this money will be able to help people of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso leader Ibrahim Traore, he have done quite a lot of things in this short period that he's been in power. He have managed at least to fight the basic things. I'm not saying that everything is fine over there. Of course, through under Ibrahim Traore leadership, we saw how the maize meal price had raised up, the oil price raised up from like, I don't know how much is it, but from like a big high percentage. And this, we all know that it is a trap which the Westerns, they have put in place in order for people of Burkina Faso to get tired of Ibrahim Traore and let him go, or maybe to start calling him for him to leave the office. Because we all know these people, it is their strategy that they've been having. Just because they're the one who control the MasterCard, because they're the one who control the internet with Google, it's because they are the one who get to do 1, 2, 3 things. So they will use every tools in their power, whether it is through sanctions, whether it is through what, so that they will make your leadership become so hard, so that people of your country, people that you are pretending that you are saving, they should hate you. And that's what they've been trying all these things against Ibrahim Traore. They raise up the money of Burkina Faso to have a high rate against the US dollar. And Ibrahim Traore tried to resist it by even also going far to threaten them that no, if you guys continue doing this, of course, we are going to have our own monetaries, we are going to have our own currency. And they thought maybe he was joking. The men already start making a new move by locating all the countries around the world which are under the same sanctions as the one of Burkina Faso. Recently, you saw the new re-elected president, of Venezuela, who had to send his foreign minister over there. They are all recruiting each other. Soon they are planning to join also Zimbabwe so that they can sit down and have a conversation to see on how they can either come up with their own currency, or they will have to wait the currency, the one which BRICS had announced, because they feel like enough it is enough and they don't need to be trading again with this US dollar that the Americans get to use each and every time when they feel like things are not going in their favors. So Ibrahim Traore, that's the challenge that it's facing so far, and we are all aware of it, that the US with its allies, that's what they usually do whenever they feel like they don't want you, whenever they feel like they want to destroy you, whenever they feel like they want to make people hate you. They'll try to paint you with the brush and the color of their choice.
At the end of the day, it is critical for the US to have a footprint on the continent. Even a little goes a long way. The same can be said of U.S. business investments. Africa is of vital strategic importance to the United States. We can't let China or Russia become the preferred security or business partner.
I am convinced that in a few years, I don't know if it's 10 years or less or more, we will have the obligation to go back and help these African countries.
What is being played out in West Africa is an entire area of Africa which is changing and which could become the lever of our competitors, and in particular Russia, to impose a model of society. That's not ours. That's what happens. It's not just security, and we see this kind of smoke and mirrors. We now see the Russians who have arrived in Chad, who are in Burkina Faso, who are in Niger, who may soon be in Senegal. We know that they had expressed their intention to extend towards Côte d'Ivoire. For me, that's a little bit, that's what's at stake.
What is our coherent and consistent strategy towards Niger, and what do we plan to do to prevent Russia, China, and Iran from filling that void?
We are now fully engaged in the competition, which is precisely what we need to comprehend. Moreover, this is particularly significant.
So that's what they've been doing so far. But unfortunately for them, instead for these tips to work for them, it keep on failing. Do you know why? Well, because Ibrahim Traore did not only have the support of his people. Ibrahim Traore did not only have the support of Burkinabés, but Ibrahim Traore have the support of the entire Africa continent, including the Africans who are found within diaspora borders. All these Africans, they have understand that this is the kind of the leader that Africa needs today. And these African youth, they have understand that since we are under revolution and we are trying to fight against the oppressor, we are trying to fight against the former colonial, we need such leaders as Ibrahim Traore, we need such leaders as P.L. Lumumba, we need such leaders as Julius Malema, we need such leaders as President Jani. All these people, they have understand something, that this is a better way to get rid of this Western. This is the better way of us saying goodbye to France, who've been in the African continent for so many years for no reasons, and we have not seen what they have done good to people of Africa.
I find myself akin to a cyclist laboriously climbing a steep slope, swaying from left to right. From precipice, he is obliged to pedal, to continue pedaling, otherwise he falls.
If you look around Africa, wherever you are watching us right now, as long as you are inside African borders, you will see that this Western, whether it is America, whether it is British, whether it is Germany, whether it is Italy, whether it is France, all of them, you're not going to show me one or two projects that you have come across with and they say that this building or this stadium or this railway is being built, or they are building it by this countries, one of these countries. You're not going to see it. But yet these people, they're still stealing from African mineral each and every time. They are stealing African mineral without giving us something in exchange, without making Africa develop. For them, it's just like they are coming to collect whatsoever we have, so that they will go and grow up their economy and develop their countries. So Africans, they have understand that we need such leaders such as Ibrahim Traore, because with this kind of mentality, with this kind of ideology, we'll be able to get rid of this Western and start developing our beautiful continent. That is something that these people are not able to handle. That's the reason why they're trying everything by all means to make sure that they get rid of Ibrahim Traore. They have tried already so far 3 military coups. 3 military coups, and they failed.
The recent coup attempt against President Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore has been in power since September 30th, 2022, and he's promised that there is going to be an election in 2024. So he has been making moves that have convinced basically Africans that he is there for the right reasons, and many people trust him and actually appreciate what he's doing. Imagine this, he's the youngest leader in the world, excluding royal families. So he's definitely someone that people are looking at and seeing as a hope for the youth. But you might have guessed it, there are people that see him as a threat, especially nations that used to rule over Burkina Faso, that used to be their colonizers. Now they're not very happy with the change that they are making, because their move means that it's going to affect these former colonial powers.
That is something that never happened anywhere around the world. Military coup, if it comes, it succeeds. If it fails, it will become a revolutionary for people of that country. And these people who usually do military coup, they'll tell you that no, we're doing it because our people are tired of this leader. Our people want this leader to be replaced, or we're taking the power so that we can give it to people. That's what they usually do. So that's why you see, whenever military coup took place, they always have the support of their people until they start now doing things otherwise, to note what people of their countries they were expecting them to do. And in the case of Ibrahim Traore, it was either they had to succeed by removing Ibrahim Traore in power and replace him with someone else. All that transition had to take place under the guidance of people of Burkina Faso. But they failed. And when they fail, normally, it's supposed to be these same people of Burkina Faso have to stand against Ibrahim Traore by starting maybe prostrating, as we are seeing in Kenya with William Ruto, or maybe by start calling him to leave out the office. That's not even the case. Ibrahim Traore have the support of his people. Everywhere he goes, people of his Burkina Faso, they are supporting him. They want him to be there. They may remember, he almost retired last year, 2023. He almost resigned from the office. But people of Burkina Faso, they were like, no, Baba, you're not going anywhere. You stay right there because we still need you. We need your leadership in order for us to get rid of all these Western influencers who are coming in our country. You know, and the people of Burkina Faso, they remain that way. They love the guy. And that is what is driving the Western insane, because they feel like all their mission so far is failing in African continent, because through people such as Ibrahim Traore, Julius Malema, Prof. Lumumba from Kenya, and so many Pan-Africans who keep on alerting this African youth to understand that we've been colonized for so many years. Even after the former colonials, they pretend to leave Africa's soil, yet they still following us in all our activities. Well, it's something that Africans, they don't want to do it anymore, and now they're trying to follow this kind of leaders so that this message can reach to each and every Pan-African out there, so that we will assume our own responsibility, because we want to take our destiny into our own hands. And that is the journey which the Western, they feel like they can't be able to reach until the end. So they want to make sure things that must be cut off as soon as possible so that they'll continue in control of Burkina Faso gold and other African mineral resources. Unfortunately, that's not happening. That's no more. Time has passed. Things have changed around. Africans, they have understood the game and the one of the game. They have understood all the strategies that the Western they can get to use in order for them to impose their leadership in Africa's soil. Africans, they want to do things differently. And they need people such as the Burkina Faso with their leader to come forward and show a good example for the rest of Africa. So here, as true Pan-Africans, we support this kind of initiation. We support people such as Ibrahim Traore. We support people such as Julius Malema because of their strategy and the dream which they will have for Africa continent. It is Africa first and the rest can follow after, because we believe that it is Africa that unites us as a black child. Guys, that will be all for today. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video until now. We really do appreciate your presence. We believe that it was very important for us to come and discuss this topic with you so that you can understand why all this military coup keep on failing against Ibrahim Traore. And we had exposed and explained everything to you on who's the mastermind behind all this. And we also explain you how Ibrahim Traore is managing to survive all this coup attempt against him so far. So thank you so much again. Before you leave, do us a favor. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up, like this video in your numbers. We really do appreciate that. It is very important. It is free of charge. We encourage you to do so that it can also encourage us to continue doing good for all of us here at Cool Buzz TV. If you have not subscribed to the channel, well, this is a good opportunity for you to be part of this big family, to be part of this Pan-African platform which we had created for you so that we'll be having this kind of conversations whenever time is allowing us. So we are inviting you to subscribe to the channel so that whenever we're live, you will be able to be part of us and engage yourself with us in the conversation as we usually do it. But don't forget to drop down your comment in the comment section. Give us your opinions also on how you think Ibrahim Traore is managing to survive all this coup attempt against him, and tell us also what do you think we should do as Africans in order for us to help him and people of Burkina Faso to continue resisting all this temptation from the Western. So we really do appreciate that. But if you feel like you can also help us maybe with something, I mean, like as you can see, we're having a new studio. All these things need a bit of expense here and then. So if you feel like you can buy us a camera, if you feel like you can buy us a microphone, or even a studio lights, or anything that you feel you can contribute, well, you are more than welcome to do it out of your willing. We really do appreciate that, because we know that it is a way of us moving forward as Africans. It is a way of us trying to help each other so that we can pass this message to many Pan-Africans around the globe who are having that stress and who cares about Africa continent. You know, people who believe that we are nothing without our beautiful land, because everywhere we go around the world, whether we go in Europe, they treat us somehow. You know, they use racism against us. You see how our fellow Africans are dying in the oceans over there, all just because they want to travel to this land which has nothing to offer them when we have everything here at home. So we are here to help Africans to understand that we have everything and we can become a Europe, we can become a United States of Africa, we can become anything that we envy out there, because we are the one who have everything, and these people, they can be the one who can be coming to our countries. Guys, imagine if one day we wake up, we are seeing Europeans now coming, seeking for a good life in Africa. Imagine one day you see that now the entire world is now afraid of Africa continent, because they consider us as a United States of Africa, as we are having United States of America, where we will be having our own nuclear bombs, where we will be having different things we fabricate, we invent, because all these mineral resources and things that these people get to use in order for them to invent whatsoever they are breaking out there for, it came from Africa. It came from Africa's soil. So why can't we also do it on our own? and we are here to encourage one another. So if you find this message very important and very beneficial for you, and you feel like, no, this is something that should reach to many more Africans out there, well, it is very simple. You just have to hit that share button, share it through your WhatsApp message, through your Facebook or social media platforms. Do that so that many people, they can get to hear this kind of gospel about Africa and the unity of Africans, so that one day we can be able to be that powerful Africa as we always dream for us to be. So that's the reason why we have these platforms, and we are encouraging you to contribute on your own way that you wish to contribute. As much we are also contributing for this message to be reaching to many Africans around the world, so that one day we can succeed to all our goals as we've been dreaming for. So thank you so much, guys. I think that will be all for today. I really do appreciate your precious time that you have given us and watch this video up to now. We really do appreciate you for that. For now, continue to be yourself. Be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.